All right. So now we are recording. I want to welcome everyone to the group, Wealth Mindset Group. And I want to talk to you guys today. Today's topic is on your higher faculties. Okay. It's on your intuition, how to develop your intuition, how to basically get a hunch about your feelings when it comes to like you go into a restaurant and you're having a good meal, you feel good, you have a good intuition, vibration. So your feeling is vibration and your intuition never lies to you. Okay. So what do people think of me? Results. You need to change your results. So the reason I mentioned is going to a restaurant is because if you ever been to a restaurant and the waiter, you just didn't connect well with where you were, um, you have this emotion like, oh my God, I don't feel good. And then what happens is you're like, okay, I just want to leave. I don't want to be here in this restaurant. So you have to listen. And when you listen with your emotions. So you hear with your ears, you listen with your emotions, so the connection is stronger with your emotions. So give people your undivided attention. Your intuition is like knowing, it's like the feeling so the feeling you get about everything, because feelings are like, it's kind of like the gateway to the subconscious mind. So, you can't change the results that you currently have until you work on the higher faculties. So the first Zoom call that we did was on your imagination. And then we touched on your concentration factor, your will, okay? And then we talked about perception. And today we're talking about your intuition. So we all have an intuition. It's God's way of communicating with you. So when you're, like I said, when you're at a restaurant, when you go to the gym, when you're connecting with people, if you have intuition, you have a feeling of, okay, this is not right, or this is right. So you want to develop that intuition, and it's a higher faculty, and it has to do with how you feel about things. Now, Thomas Edison, they said he went through 10,000 failures before he created the incandescent light bulb. Now, how many people would quit, right? How much time did it take him? Why he didn't quit? And then he finally figured out the method of combustion. That's why when you drop a bulb, it pops, because the energy stays in the bulb. That's how we get light. But it took him 10,000 failures, guys. It took him 10,000 failures to do that, to create that idea about, you know, creating something that was discovered. And it was like, okay, well, we discovered it. How do we mass produce it? How do we get it out to the world? Now that is a challenge. That's a challenge. Like, how can I do this, right? And the same thing goes for your income. Is like, okay, how do I turn my annual salary into my monthly salary? And I love the fact that people like tell me, like, it's either, hey, this doesn't work, or I want more. Um, so when I joined the business, I had an intuition. So I just want you guys to understand how this stuff works, because I know to some people, you guys are new to this. Okay. So just be patient, guys. You're not going to get this information right away. And when you start understanding how it works, your relationships grow, your income grows, you know. So it's like for me, the most difficult part about this business, personal growth and development, is I have to believe in myself. I have to believe in my intuition about things. I have to believe that nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. What does that mean? That means everything you want's already here. So when I joined the business, it was in, I think it was July, June, July, and I was sitting in my house in Chicago, and I was talking to Ruta. She was telling me like, would you want to join this business? And I've been studying this material for so long that I was really looking for the right platform to get it out. I was like, okay, well, who do I want to work with, right? Who can I work with to grow my business, to scale my business, you know? So it's like, okay, well, I want to work with people that want a better life. I want to work with people that want to make their monthly income into their weekly income, or their yearly income into their monthly income. Now, in the beginning, that sounds like, okay, that's too over the top, you know? So I told her, I'm like, look, I want to work with you. I want to grow this business with you. And she's like, great. Um, you ever been to the United Kingdom? And I said, no, but I'd love to go. So I bought a round trip ticket and I ended up staying. Now, the crazy part about it is that my friend lived in London. This is how this stuff works. Because of my intuition, I just had a feeling like, man, I'm doing the right move. This is the right move. And that intuition can make a difference of making millions of dollars or being broke. So when I came to the United Kingdom, my friend from Chicago was doing real estate in the United Kingdom. And he's like, look, you don't need to fill out an application. I don't need a deposit. Here are the keys to your apartment. Here are the keys. Now, how does that happen when literally a few months ago, I was in Chicago watching TV, still studying Think and Grow Rich, still reading books, talking to my mentor, Bob Proctor, working with the company, helping people, and people are comfortable. People do not like working these higher faculties. They don't want to grow, and I like what Bob Proctor says. He's like, your circumstances may be uncongenial, but they will not long remain so if you strive for an ideal and strive to reach it. So what happens is that your life, your personal life, everything that you have going on, like I talk about 24 hours a day. And today's topic for people that just logged on the call is intuition. And I'm going to connect the gap, okay, between what we think we know and what is really going on out here in this state of confusion, because that's what it is. Now, I want to encourage you guys. After the call, I'm going to post a video about a guy named Ernest Holmes. Who was Ernest Holmes? People don't even know who this guy was. Ernest Holmes, he was basically teaching people about this energy, about this formless substance that doesn't know the difference between right or wrong, doesn't know the difference between good and bad. It's always been here. It's all around you. It's all around me. It's all around all of us. And he says that we could have anything we want. We could have it in abundance if we can work with this energy, if we can impress our ideas with our imagination. That's why the higher faculties is imagination, perception, reasoning, intuition, memory, and the will, concentration. So these are your higher faculties. These are God-given abilities of you as a spirit here trying to grow, trying to break free from the paradigms. What's a paradigm? A negative program in your subconscious mind of who they said you were, of what you've seen, of everything you see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. And Bob says, I have a dog that can see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. but you're not a dog. You're not a pig or a horse. You have a self-image. You have I guess you could say you're looking at a mirror and you're already telling yourself, that's who I am. I'm Ross Garcia. This is how much I can make. This is where I'm comfortable in Chicago, right? Doing the same thing, getting the same results. And then you wonder why people are broke because they know it all. They know more than you. They know more than you. They know more. They're smarter than you. So you get to hear this about people talking about what they don't want, and they're getting more of the same. Talking about, oh yeah, I just need to buy a car, and then once I get my car, I could drive for Uber, doing taxi, working for minimum wage. But it's okay because I'm self-employed. I can work when I want, and then I'll work and I'll make this money. But I really want to buy a house. Why don't you go look at the house? Like, you want to talk about a goal, you want to talk about something that scares you, is like getting up and looking at, let's say, a $500,000 property. If you never had a $500,000 property, if you didn't even have a house, you had an apartment, you're working for minimum wage. Trust me, guys, I've been there. So when I joined this business, I had an intuition to work with Ruda. I met Vincent. He was already my friend on Facebook. I connected with Ruda through Vincent, Chairman 10, right? And seeing what he's done is like inspiring. The problem is that 97% of people would rather die than think, because thinking is a higher faculty. Thinking requires you to build brain cells of recognition of what, you may ask, of whatever you want. Picture yourself looking at baby blue water in, the Bahamas, going to Bermuda and different islands, right? Jamaica, Bermuda, you know. And the Beach Boys sing that song. They sing, "Take me down to the Kokomo," you know, Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go to the Kokomo, right? And it's a song from back in the days. I would like to ask Odwa to please mute himself, otherwise I'm gonna kick you out. So I'm gonna kick you out of this call right now if you don't mute yourself, because I don't want other people to not get this information. Okay. So if I hear noise, I might have to bounce you out of the call. So your intuition is a higher faculty, guys. It is a higher faculty. In the beginning, I'm like, who cares? I don't need to study the intuition. I know the imagination and I know the concentration factor. Like Napoleon Bonaparte when he took over France and crowned himself king and took over Europe. How did he do it? Because he had a strong will. He had a strong concentration factor. So I have pictures of Napoleon Bonaparte with him going like this. Why does he go like this? Because he's connecting to the subconscious mind, your heart, your feeling. Vibration is feeling. I actually wrote that down right now because we had a call with Bob Proctor last week. Feeling is vibration. Your feeling is the connection. And what's the vibration? What is the feeling? When you get a hunch, it's called the sixth sense, your intuition, how you see other people and how you think other people see you. Because that is what it's about. It's about, okay, well, how do other people see me? How do other people see me? If I was talking to someone, how would they say, well, Ross is this, this, and this, and this? Is he? Is he? Is he? Is he? Because you want to write this stuff down, because that's what you're saying. They're saying about you. So what do people say about you? Because 9 times out of 10, it's not even what they're saying about you. It's what you're saying about you. It's what you're entertaining all day long, repetitively with your thoughts. Because William James, he was a professor from Harvard in the 1900s. And he says that your belief in your belief will literally create the fact. In other words, what you're thinking about, what you're really believing in, is what's manifesting into physical reality. Because we're too busy looking at the thing. We're looking at effects. We're not looking at the cause. We're not looking at the inside. There was a doctor named Thurman Fleets in 1934 in San Antonio, Texas. And he says, if we want to treat the body, we need to treat the mind. We're looking at the effects. They wanted to treat the body. They wanted to treat cancer. They wanted to treat the brain cells, your brain cells, the inside of your brain, like your body, the cells. How do you treat them if they're all wrong because of what you're saying to yourself, which is like totally illogical to think that you could actually talk yourself into being healthy. How does that happen? Well, look at what a hypochondriac is. Google what's a hypochondriac. A hypochondriac is someone that's telling themselves that they're sick. There's a story in the book You Were Born Rich, in the YouTube videos of You Were Born Rich with Bob Proctor in the seminar that him and John Canary did with Paul Hutsey back in the 80s or late 70s. Okay. And they were talking about a guy being inside a railway cart, and he was stuck in there overnight, but he kept telling himself, I'm going to die. It's too cold in here. I'm trapped inside this railway cart and I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And when they opened up the cart early in the morning, when they found him, because he was stuck inside by himself, he slept there by himself. When they found him, he was dead. But when they checked the temperature apparatus of the cart, of the inside of the railway cart, when they checked it in the train, like when you open the door, you see the train, that he was stuck inside one of those carts in the in the railroad, in the train. And they checked the apparatus, like the temperature. It wasn't freezing. It was like, how did he die? So this whole coronavirus thing is like messing with your mind, because you're literally telling yourself, I need one of these to survive. I need to be careful because I could catch the virus. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a virus. There could be a virus, right? But how do I explain this, guys, to you? When Bob Proctor got wealthy, he went to Chicago and met a man named Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale, he had did a condensed version of this book right here, of this one, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And he basically condensed it to 30 minutes. And he says that you are the sum total of your thoughts. A man, a woman is all they think about all day long. That's who you are. So I just talked to you guys about who I am. Well, when I wake up in the morning, it goes something like this. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. O divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom with which to use the riches I was born with, and the power to control my own mind to whatever ends I desire. You may want to write that down. You commit it to memory. Think about this stuff all day long as you're working your business, and understand that it is your mindset. You don't have to take action. I mean, yes, you're going to have to pick up the phones, prospect, right? Obviously, you're going to have to do that. But it's who am I? Who was I? Who they told me I was? Who are you? And when you get down to who you are, get rid of the skin, because the body is, he's like, Bob's like, when I go to a funeral, it's not the body that I'm looking at, but it's the death of all the dreams. Because in that body, when you're looking at someone pass away, there's all the dreams, all the potential that was not discovered. I had an uncle, his name was Francisco, and we have like a big farm, right? And I remember going with him to the farm, and he's looking out, looking at the land. He's got the horse, and he's like, I just wish that the farm was how my dad used to have it. And that's what I'm working towards. And he's like, you know, when I was young, we had cows, we had horses, it's like the ranch type of life, no city life, like, cowboy stuff, right? Um, and he's looking at the farm, he's looking at the ranch, and He's got this like lost hope in him, and then he passes away. He died. So I go to the to the funeral, to the wake, right? And I'm seeing my uncle there, and I'm like, man, he would be so proud if our ranch was up, right? If there was cows there and horses and beautiful crops, corn, watermelon. And his father was like a very good businessman. He used to, in the 50s, like he used to go take milk to the city to make sure people had food. Um, and you hear all these stories about people in the past, about maybe someone that was related to you, and how you might have an inheritance, or how wealthy you could be if only you could make that connection. And Bob Napoleon Hill talked about this in his lectures. He says that he had an uncle named Napoleon. That's why they named him Napoleon, through one of his uncles. He was a wealthy cotton farm owner. He owned a big farm with cotton, and his mom wanted him to get part of that inheritance, and he didn't receive any of that inheritance. But guess what? He was still driving around in a Rolls Royce. Now, the Rolls Royce didn't make him who he was. He paid the price. The Rolls Royce was just, uh, I guess you could say, it was the result of the way he was thinking, when he changed the way he was thinking. He was a broke newspaper reporter. The word was that he didn't even have enough money to get back home when he went to go interview the richest person in the world, Andrew Carnegie. And Andrew Carnegie seen something in Napoleon that Napoleon Hill didn't even see in himself. He said, Napoleon, would you be interested in writing about the laws of success to help the modern man? Napoleon Hill answered, it took him about 28 seconds. He said, yes, Mr. Carnegie, sir, you could depend on me that I will achieve it. So it's like, who is in your environment? Who are you listening to? Are they broke? What are they working on? And in this business, you have people in this business that are literally trying to give you all they got, just like me. All they got, all the knowledge, and you're just going to throw it away. You're just going to say, nah, I don't believe what Ross is saying. That's a bunch of bullshit. Excuse my language, right? Like, whatever he has to say is irrelevant. The funny part about it is, I made my first million at 33. I'm 37. My first $1 million. I'm a multi-millionaire, guys. Believe it or not. If I have to pull out the bank statements and talk to you guys about the physical, we can get to the physical. These people are trying to show you nice watches, nice cars. I even heard on Instagram, you can't even post your Lamborghini on there anymore with the Lamborghini sign, because you're taking good brands and you're trying to say, hey, I'm growing my business. Don't show off. Don't talk about the physical. Who gives a shit about the physical? Yes, there is a lot of money to be made in this business. And I like what Bob Proctor says. He's like, wherever it is right now. Where's the money, Bob? Wherever it is right now. Who would say wherever it is right now? If you guys would read this book, The Science of Getting Rich, and stop thinking all this nonsense and actually sit there and read The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. And he says there's a thinking stuff from where all things are made. And a thought in this stuff produces the thing that's imagined by the thought. What is the thought? The thought permeates all time, all space. You're a thinking machine. You're a computer. You have more electrical signals in your brain than a computer itself. The energy inside of you is enough bigger than an atomic bomb. Your thought is like a laser beam. It slices through butter. Just like the Jedi, he has the lightsaber and he's like slicing through stuff, right? Your thought is like crazy. You're talking about past, present, future. If it's all happening right now, nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. What did Bob Proctor say? Science and theology, they disagree on a lot of things, but they come to an unanimous decision on one thing, that nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. So that means everything you want's already here, but it's on a certain frequency. What is intuition? The connection between you and the frequency through what? Through the feeling. How do you feel? I don't feel good. Why? I don't know why. Write it down. Take action. Make a plan. It doesn't have to be precise, but guess what? You're too busy wondering how. Like when you saw the movie The Secret and you found out who Bob Proctor was, just like me, I seen that movie in 2007. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just write $100 million and I'll hit the lottery and I'll get rich. No, guys, it doesn't work like that. Like in order to go to that quantum from go to A to Z, in order to go from 10,000 a year to 100,000 a month, in order to do 10,000% return on your money, is like what you're thinking about. Where is your level of awareness? Level of awareness is like writing down 100 million, 100 million, guys, 10 million. Stretch yourself, internalizing the number, looking at it. You have your bank account over here. You might have a couple £1,000, but you got this big number over here. Make a big number look small, guys. And I know we're talking about residual income, but say to yourself, I'm so happy and grateful now that I work with the IM organization. I'm a P1000. You might not even be P150. You might be P2000. You might be Chairman 10. But regardless where you're at, you can always learn. You can always learn from somebody else. You're talking about failures. I was a straight F student, straight Fs, failure. Been getting shot at, went to prison. How did I end up in prison? Went through a DUI, almost killed myself, almost killed somebody else through the process. And you're going to tell me that I wanted to stay there? I had just graduated from Northwestern with a finance and investment management degree. The judge looked at me. He's like, man, this guy's a scumbag. He's a loser. And then my attorney brought my file that says I work for a JP Morgan Chase. I'm a corporate guy, no criminal background, and I graduated with a finance and investment management degree. How did that happen? It happened because my spirit wanted something better. I wanted to grow. And the only way to appreciate what you have is if you are down. Because when you're down is when you're being tested. So something inside of me needed that to remind myself where I was and how valuable this information is. Knowledge. He's like, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom with which to use the riches I was born with and the power to control my own mind to whatever ends I desire. Why does he ask for more wisdom? Because like Napoleon Hill was broke, but he got wealthy. He made millions of dollars. And how did he attract the Rolls Royce? He kept thinking about what color the car was, what color, how the tires looked on the car, the vehicle. One of his students walked up to him and he's like, look, Napoleon, these are the keys to my Rolls Royce. You need it more than me. He's like, you set the price. You tell me how much you want, but the car is yours. You need it more than me. He was in New York doing a lecture. One of his students walked up to him. He said, Napoleon, here's a Rolls Royce. It's like, same color. That's what he's been asking for. He's like, you're going to get everything you've been asking for. Things don't happen by chance. It's by law that you're on this call, guys. Why? Because you're a spirit. You're for expansion and fuller expression, never for hard times, never for disintegration. And there's only two ways to change a paradigm: an emotional impact, because I went through that, and constant space repetition of this information. That's why the calls are important. That's why Ruda, Vincent, they're pushing you. Join Ross, join the call. And it's like you're getting bombarded with this information. It's all new to you, but you have to start with the inside. You can't paint the kitchen by painting the outside of the house. You got to start with you. So how do you start? This is how I know if someone's ready to start. All you need is a pen. All you need is a pen and the desire to want to be more. In what areas? Being happy with you, being healthy, and being wealthy, because that's what we're going to focus on. Being happy, healthy, and wealthy. And you're never going to be wealthy if you're not happy. So what makes you not happy? Okay, write it down. This person doesn't make me happy. Why? This. Okay, stay away from people like that. I was in a toxic relationship. I had a hard time because I knew this information. You talk about people having baggage, stuff from the past and not being able to deal with it. And it's like someone hurt me, so I have to hurt somebody else. And it's just like a repetitive cycle of, hey, you know what? The reason that I'm a bad person or the reason that I don't trust people is because a long time ago somebody betrayed me or someone took advantage of my trust. And now because of that, someone else has to pay the price. Really? Okay. You're really going to be a millionaire by putting other people down and making other people feel bad just because you went through some stuff doesn't have nothing to do with someone else. And it's like you have to believe in you. That's why I talked about how Napoleon Hill met Andrew Carnegie, because Napoleon Hill was a broke newspaper reporter. He could have become an attorney like his brother Vivian, and his brother Vivian was an attorney that dealt with divorce. So his brother was like, okay, well, just become an attorney like me. And his brother never got married. Napoleon Hill wanted to have a family. So he's like, I don't want to be like my brother. I want to be something else. I want to do something else. So he became a newspaper reporter. Little did he know that his life was about to change and he was going to start the personal growth and development industry as we know it. But having these things are possible. Having these things are possible, but you have to develop your higher faculties. That's what these calls are about. So what are your higher faculties? I had mentioned them earlier. Imagination. How do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself next year? Write it down. Focus on what you're writing down. Focus on the negative people. And it's crazy, but I want to tell you guys this. Focus on all the negative things. Who's going to tell you to focus on all the negative things? I am. Bob Proctor might not tell you, but I will tell you, focus on the negative things. Why do you want to focus on the negative things? Because your mind is programmed negatively and environmentally by what you see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. So if your dad made, let's say, 50,000 pounds a year, then you're working on a conscious level of awareness of 50,000 pounds a year. But guess what? If your dad made 5 million pounds a year, your level of awareness is 5 million pounds a year. Because when somebody in your family crosses the finish line and their income goes, like my income was like the most $60,000, not pounds, $60,000 a year. So when I made 60,000 a month, 100,000 a month, it was like, how did you do it? Everybody wants to know how. And I posted in Wealth Mindset group, I posted the how will present itself. Like when I wrote down I wanted to make a company and make a couple million and just grow this business, someone from the radio station came to me. When I was thinking about in Chicago how I can help get this information out, how many people can I change their income, happy, healthy, wealthy? How can I change them to find a better version of themselves? How do I do that? I got with Ruda. I met Vincent. I said, hey, Vincent, I want to go to Spain. You think I should stay in the UK? He's like, Ross, be happy. He's like, just be happy. And if there's one thing that I know about Vincent is he's always trying to help. He's always trying to help. And he wants the best for everybody, right? But we all have a past of who we were. And you need to let go of the past. If you can't let go of the damage, the situations, if you can't use your higher faculties, if you can't study, then you don't deserve the reward. And the more you give, the more you'll get. The more you give, the more you get. Get the information out. You might get 90% people might say no. People might say, no, it's one of those things. It's going to take up too much of my time. You're working your business. You're going to get the residual income and you're going to get the benefits. You're going to get the rewards. Why? Because it's energy. You're giving it out. It's like they said, someone broke your heart. Yeah, someone broke my heart. Because Napoleon Hill talked about this too. He's like, look, if someone hurt you, if someone did wrong to you, it's okay. Someone hurt you, someone did wrong to you. But guess what? There's going to be someone in your life that's going to make up for all that wrong. There's going to be someone in your life that is going to just change you. You're going to be so happy. You're going to be so happy with you. Who is that person? All you have to do is write down the person. You don't have to put a face to the name. Oh, it's this girl, right? If you're a girl listening to this call, it's this guy. I want to be with this guy. It might not be that person. It's kind of like what they say, oh, you want to attract a Mustang or a Rolls Royce. What year is the Rolls Royce? What year is the Mustang? What kind of car is it? What color is the interior? Better yet, have you went to go see the car? Have you test drove the car? Can you feel it? What did Genevieve Biran say? What did she say? She says, when you bring these unseen causes into harmony with your conception, you can make practical working realities of possibilities that at present, today, right, present, seem but fantastic dreams. Wouldn't it be a fantastic dream to own a Rolls Royce? Wouldn't it be a fantastic dream to have residual income, to have people in your business and totally leverage this stuff out, right? People all around the world working with you in your business, growing, helping other people. Your money's just, you're making more money when you sleep than when you're awake. That's called the big money. That's what Napoleon Hill calls the big money. Because when you find it, you start to realize that the people that are wealthy because they change the way they think. So everything starts from the inside. You don't think people that are wealthy know about this stuff? Of course they know about it. You think they're going to tell you? They're not going to tell you because most of these secrets have been locked up. The one percenters don't want you to know. And right now we're going in through literally a shift where people are waking up and they're starting to actually think and say, oh, you know what? I can create my own reality. Yeah, but how? I don't know. I just got this book. I just started listening to YouTube. I joined this club. I became a member. I joined this company and they're giving me new information, like information that totally blew my mind. And you're like, how can I connect to them? You know? And it's funny because when you talk to people about the business, you get rejected. But when you talk to them about something that has nothing to do with the business, all they want to do is get more information because they want to understand who they are. It's like you were told, put those crayons away when you're like 7 years old. But after 7 years old, you have to start getting A's, B's. And according to how good your grades were, that's how good and successful you would be. Now, there's people that think they're successful. They're making about 120,000, let's say 120,000 pounds, but they're giving their time for money, guys. They're clocking in. Yes, boss. Sure, whatever you say, boss. Thank you. Yes, yes. Hey, baby, I just got 2 weeks vacation this year. We can go on vacation. Oh, did you? Yeah. Well, how long would you have to work? And then guess what? You have your pension and your 401k compensation plan, and then the economy falls. You didn't understand what the financial markets were about. And you went to the bank and they told you, hey, guess what? You know, your retirement, it just lost $50,000. And you're scratching your head saying, oh, it's okay. I'll just have to work till I'm 75, right? That's why when you go to some of these stores, there's like 75 years old. Like, you're 75, you're a security guard here? Like, yeah. Why? Well, I had a retirement plan, but it just didn't work out. So when you understand the outcomes, you understand why people have negative outcomes because of the way they think. See, the formless substance is up here. You're grabbing, building new brain cells, not brain cells, new brain cells of recognition. Recognition of what? Of a picture. You know what Napoleon looks like? This is a picture of Napoleon Hill. That's him. So as you sleep at night, you're like, I remember Ross showing me a picture of this man. I know what Ross looks like, right? What are you doing? You have an image of who am I? You have this image. Can you create an image of you having residual income, of you making $50,000 a month? I did. I wrote down that I wanted to make $1.75 million by January 1st, 2017. I took a company, guys. I asked my friends, you guys want to join this business? Everyone said no to me. I took out no loans from scratch with zero, no money, no help, nothing. I believed in myself and in this gentleman right here. I listened to this gentleman. I wrote down what he told me to write down. I wrote it all down. I kept listening to the YouTube videos, his rare audio recordings, his lectures. There's about 9 of them. It's like 3 days long or something like that. Kept listening, and it manifested into physical reality. I found a book in October 2016 where I wrote this information. It was a notebook like this one right here. And when you write down how you want your life to be, it just happens, guys. It just happens. It's like John Kennedy, the president back in the 60s. They wanted to send a spaceship and put a man on the moon. They asked Werner von Braun, a German scientist, how can we put a spaceship on the moon? Werner von Braun answered him with five words: the will to do it. The will to do it. The will to do it. And then he told John Kennedy, the president, the German scientist, Werner von Braun, he told John Kennedy, he's like, you can send the spaceship and put a man on the moon, and you can time the landing by a precision of a fraction of a second. By a precision of a fraction of 1 second, a fraction. Because the laws are precise. That's why I say winter doesn't follow winter. We never get 2 seasons in the same year, guys. The tide comes in and it goes out. The laws are precise. If you change the second, everything else will change. It's like Hernan Cortez went to Mexico. He was in South America. They were trying to look for gold. How did they get to over there? A mistake. A mistake got him to the New World. Then they mapped it out. And then it was Galileo Galilei. He discovered navigation. And they're like, okay, Vincent took me to Greenwich. It's like, that's where they created time, or that's where time or navigation or some stuff like that, like some heavy duty stuff, mathematical stuff. But you don't have to be a scientist to get this. You just want to be better. You want to make more money. You want to be a millionaire? Okay, start to think like a millionaire, walk like a millionaire, do millionaire things. Like what? Ask me. Like I spent thousands of dollars in the casino in Las Vegas. I lived in California and Hollywood. When I walk outside, a cup of coffee in the morning, I'd walk outside, I see the Hollywood sign. Mingling with heavy hitters, multimillionaires, going to Beverly Hills, renting out a mansion for a week and just swimming, having my sister fly in. My parents went throughout the whole country in an RV, like an expensive RV, like $120,000 RV with a shower and a bedroom, kitchen, living room, dining room. Like, this is like crazy stuff, right? It's like, how would you feel if you're in a private jet with Bob Proctor? Like, the things you have to do, what price are you willing to pay to get to the next level? And I'm telling you right now, I don't worry about money. I don't look at my current circumstance. I think from the end. What does thinking from the end look like for you? And all you got to do, write it down. That's all you got to do. Because I literally had a friend, his son died. He was going to be 21 years old. His son died. And I'm like, look, man, I know this negative situation happened to you. I felt so bad for this guy. And I said, could you like write down how you feel? And he's like, no, I can't, because he didn't want to write down all the negative stuff, what was going on in his mind. And his mind was like toxic because of what had happened with his son. If he only knew that there's a reason why this stuff happened, whatever that reason is, that's up to him, right? Now, you could either look at a negative situation with some positive outcome, and I know that death is a negative outcome, but there is life after death. And I would relate it to your dream. So in your dream is like what um, Genevieve B. Rand says, you can make practical working realities of possibilities that at present seem but fantastic dream. What's a dream? It's fantastic. It's what Napoleon Hill calls God's most loftiest pleasures. How does it feel to dream? I know I like to sleep. I like to dream. I like to just relax, take naps. And it's in that state where you get the hunches. It's where you get this idea of you wanting to be better, of you wanting to be wealthy and creating a lifestyle for yourself where you don't have to beg. Has anyone begged? Has anyone kissed someone's ass? Like, I had wealthy friends that they just were wealthy because they might have opened up a restaurant. And I'm just like following them around. I'm 20 years old, really not really knowing my capability, my power. And when I got this, I never wanted to go back to begging or to thinking negative. Yes, you're going to think negative all the time. That's the crazy part about it, because your mind is programmed negatively. Programmed negatively. You could think of your mind like the dirt, it's immoral. Earl Nightingale says the dirt is immoral. You could plant nightshade, a deadly poison, or you could plant corn, sweet food. Corn, a sweet food. So, what are you planting in the dirt? What are you planning in your life? And you can make these working realities, possibilities that present seem like fantastic dreams, like Genevieve B. Rand said. And just for you guys tuning in, if you don't know who Genevieve B. Rand, she wrote a book called Your Invisible Power. She was mentored by a guy named Thomas Troward right here in England, but this was like 1800, 1850. And he studied this information. And just like he says, you can't treat the cause, you can't treat the effect. You have to treat the cause. You have to treat your mind. So automatically at birth, you're born genetically from your parents. The DNA from your parents has been passed down to you. Their belief systems, how much money they made, all this stuff been passed down to you. But not only that, your environment, where you grew up, the friends that you hung around with. I was talking to a friend. I'm like, wow, uh, your daughter goes to a really nice school. And she's like, yeah, I put her in a really nice school and I'm paying top dollar because I want her to build relationships with these kids that are happy, healthy, wealthy. They might not be happy, but they sure are wealthy, right? But it's like a lot of people don't know this. Now, when I got this, Bob Proctor's like, you know that you could transfer this information to someone else? And I'm like, how do I do that? He's like, well, just everything I've showed you, help people. I'm like, well, I need a vehicle to do that. And then my intuition, that's what this call's about today, is your intuition. The gut feeling you have, the inside of you, something you feel. It's like, okay, I got to do this now. I got to do this now. I got to do this now. I have to do this now. I have to take action now. I got that feeling and I came to the UK. And guess what? Look how many people are on the call right now. It's crazy. It's like 20 people on the call. How does it happen? It happens because I had a feeling like, okay, I'm going to grow this about personal growth and development. I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to show people this information. And then it's going to get out like, oh man, this guy's like, he's pretty good, like this guy knows what he's talking about. Why do I know? Because I've been studying it for 10 years, guys. Like I said, I made a million, I made more than $1 million. And And just to test it, I even wrote down on a card, I wrote down, I'm so happy and grateful that I own 20 properties. paid off for my retirement. And I was already successful in my business. I go to my office, I open up the newspaper, and it says, buy homes cash with little or no money down. I called the guy. He's like, yeah, I got properties. I said, all right, well, could I buy one? He's like, sure. I bought a property for 15,000. I ended up selling it for 75. I bought a condo for 14,000. I ended up selling it for 55,000. And then I got to 9 properties. So I was like almost halfway there. No properties, 9 properties. I'd rather go for 9 properties. So what I'm telling you is that this information is so important to your success because we're building new brain cells of recognition to the fact that you can literally have anything you want. And the reason I say the fact is because nothing is created, nothing's destroyed. So that means everything you want is already here, but it's on a certain frequency, on a certain vibration. So the more that you start writing down 1 million, it doesn't matter what's going on right now. What matters is that you're writing it down repeatedly. What did Andrew Carnegie tell Napoleon Hill? He's like, and at that time, he was a broke newspaper reporter. When Napoleon Hill says, I'll write the laws of success, Andrew Carnegie told him, you're going to meet with negative ideas. You're going to go up against a lot of people that are going to tell you no. But I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, Napoleon Hill, not only would I surpass Andrew Carnegie in life, but I'm going to meet him at the post and beat him at the Grand Slam. Meaning that Andrew Carnegie, the richest person in the 1900s, okay, he told Napoleon Hill that he was going to be worth more than Andrew Carnegie. How is that possible if Andrew Carnegie was worth like $300 million? Well, what happened was Andrew Carnegie only made 10 millionaires. Napoleon Hill has made millions of millionaires through his books. He's basically the founder of personal growth and development. So he's made millions and millions of dollars through his books. Andrew Carnegie made about 10 millionaires, Charles Schwab, and a few other ones. But Napoleon Hill has helped me make millions of dollars. And through me, I'm going to help you guys make millions of dollars. Yes, that's right. I'm going to help you guys become millionaires. Guaranteed. All you got to do is follow the steps. Sounds crazy, right? I know it sounds crazy. Trust me. I was in jail. I was in boot camp. I went through a boot camp program because they didn't want to send me to jail because I was like a college student and I made a mistake. But that mistake helped me get to Napoleon Hill. When I got connected to Napoleon Hill, all I wanted to do was learn more and help other people because it's irresponsible of me to die and not get this information out to people. So that's why it's really, really important for you guys to understand that nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. Everything you want is already here. And you guys have to write down exactly how you want your life to be. Use your higher faculties. When you have a good feeling about something, stick to it. I'm telling you guys, when you have an intuition of, man, you know what? I'm going to stick to this. Because look, there is a lot of people out there going to the world to earn a living, to make money. How do you make money? What's the law of compensation? I'll tell you guys what the law of compensation is. Just grab a pen. The law of compensation is the need for what you do. Is there a need for what we do? Yes, there is a need. Your ability to do it and the difficulty there will be in replacing you. I know that there's going to be a difficulty in replacing me because I study this information every day. And I can tell you right now, I don't mean to like pat myself on the back, but I'm bringing my A game. What I do is I go the extra mile, like Napoleon Hill says. I go the extra mile in everything that I do and everything that my desires are in. And my desire is to connect with this information, to connect with what? With everything that already is and ever was. The energy, the spirit, no past, no future, always been here. And people are like, oh my God, I'm scared to die. You're not going to die. Your body might be here, but the spirit's going to move on. You're taking the mind with you. So the intuition is important. Writing down a big number, making it look small is important. Getting on the calls are important. Working your business are important. Building this, what we're doing right now, is important, because next year we might have thousands of people on this call. And you're going to go through the resistance. You're going to go through the terror barrier of telling, oh, this is not possible. How? They asked Werner von Braun, how do you send a man to the moon? Now, if Werner von Braun is said to you, talk to you about mathematics and calculus, you'd be like, I don't understand. But you don't need to understand. All you need to do is build a brain cells, new brain cells of recognition of these pictures. Entertain the pictures all day long. Tell yourself, you might be a cook, a waiter, a bartender, right? And just tell yourself, I'm just so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Hey, the cell phones due, your mortgage is due. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. And then it gets to the point where your outside world starts to change. Someone just asked, is there a recording? Yes, there will be a recording provided after the call. When you do this, you're painting the inside of the house, the inside of the kitchen, not the outside, the inside. So like Bob always says, you can't paint the kitchen by painting the outside of the house. You have to start with you. So create a masterpiece of your life, who you hang around with, all this stuff. And I hope that you guys found this call important, informational, because like I said, I'm going the extra mile, guys, because it happened to me. And I'm just so happy because I'm in a new place. I get to see new things. I get to experience something that hasn't been experienced in the past. I'm growing. I know who I am. I'm a spirit. You think I'm scared to die? I'm not scared to die. I have no fear. Conquer the fear of death and you can conquer anything else. So do like Earl Nightingale says, tell yourself all day long these things. I'm a creator. I want this. I have this. Better yet, I have it. Not that I want it. I have it. And write it down. Picture yourself. Call a realtor. Call somebody that sells cars. Start participating in this, I guess you could say, in this game of life. Start doing the thing. What did Emerson say? Do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. Do the thing and you'll get the energy to do the thing. It's like a snowball when it comes down from a mountain. It starts creating a bigger snow, more stars. It's like motion. You're getting going. So take action, guys, and I'll see you guys on the call tomorrow. And want to thank you guys for your time and enjoy your beautiful Thursday and go out there and crush it. Enjoy the day. We'll talk tomorrow, guys. Peace out.